Good morning. Good morning to the equinoctial breath temple. So take a breath. Let's take a breath anyhow at all and just feel the breath. Just feel yourself, this body. You can call it the self if you want, the body breathing. Just notice how it is to breathe this morning, right now. And appreciate it for a moment. Just appreciate the breath. I'll tell you a little story from the Upanishads. It's not one I've told it before. And it goes like this. The different body parts are arguing with themselves about who is the most important. And, the heart is saying it's the boss, and the brain is saying, no, I'm in charge. And the legs say, well, without me, you wouldn't get anywhere. It's kind of all true. And the breath was sitting in the corner of the room a bit bored. And he said, I've had enough, I'm off. And they all said, don't go. That's the story. But the breath is crucial. It's so important. We rarely pay attention to it. So right now, just for the next few breaths, just pay attention to how your body's breathing. Which bits of your body are moving? Is it your chest? Is it your belly? Yeah? Is it coming in through your nose or your mouth? Is your nose feeling a bit stuffy this morning or not? How is it to breathe this morning? And just notice how it is. The beginning of all change and all growth begins with awareness and observance, noticing. And that's what we're doing right now, just noticing how it is right now to be this beingness, this livingness, this I, me, mine. How's your belly feeling? How's your chest? What's it got to say about life? We do joy and we do fear in the belly. That's where we feel comfort and ease, and it's where we feel fear and anxiety. So how's your belly feeling? What does it say? And the interesting thing is, as soon as we feel an emotion, it affects the breath. And as soon as we change the breath, it can affect the emotions. As soon as we think a thing, it affects the breath. So thoughts and emotions affect breathing. They change the rate and the volume of the breath. So we're going to go the other way around. We're going to work from the breath inwards. But first of all, we have to notice. Now, one of the things we're not doing with breath techniques, I'm not trying to do with breath techniques at least, is to overlay things. We're not trying to just put something good on top of something that's uncomfortable. That can get quite messy. It's a way of just bypassing the issue. So we have to begin with awareness of how things are, looking and feeling and noticing how things are. And we're going to stay in observance and stay noticing for the rest of the session. That's the invitation. Wonderful. Now bring one hand onto your belly, one hand into your chest. And just rub them a little bit. Just rub them. Say hello to your belly, say hello to your chest. Lift and lower your shoulder blades, take them down the back a little bit. Shake your head and jaw, make a little bit of sound. Kind of lengthen up through the back of the neck, so it's like you're lifting the back part of the skull up towards the sky a little bit. Make sure that the heart is lifting. So you feel the front and back of the heart lifting up out of the pelvis, and the back of the skull lifting up. So we're finding length and space in the whole spinal cord here. And that's going to enable you freedom to breathe with the diaphragm rather than sitting in any closed position here. So it's hands on the body. And take a breath in through the nose. Spread the nostrils a little bit as you breathe in. Breathe in as slow as you can. And breathe out, just hands on your body, and just appreciate this existence with all its complexity. Those of you who are parents, you'll know what it's like to cuddle a child when they're hurting. I'm sure many of you will anyway. You know what it's like to cuddle or care for someone who's in distress. Not that you're in distress necessarily, but give yourself that kind of contact with your hands, that kind of care. And breathe in and out. So breathe in slowly And breathe out and really feel this contact, this appreciation this morning. So we're starting with observance and coming into care. All compassion, all care begins here. It begins here and emanates outwards in concentric circles of awareness and engagement. Both hands up onto your chest now. And see if you can keep the chest still as you breathe in and out of the belly, and get that belly super expansive. If you want to, you can put your hand back on the belly there, but it's nice to have your hands on the heart for a moment. You can put a hand on the belly as well if you want to. And see how big you can make the balloon of the belly on the inhale, and how far you can take it back in towards the spine on the exhale, and do that quite slowly. If you want to put a hand back, put a hand back on the belly. Now spread the nostrils as wide as you can. Use these muscles on the side of the nose here to spread the nostrils wide. And put the tip of the tongue just behind the top teeth, which is actually a fairly natural resting position for the human tongue, believe it or not. It also enables us to relax these muscles on the side of the face, the side of the jaw here. So you can smile, open the lips a little bit as you breathe in, and breathe right down into that belly. When you breathe into the belly, hold the breath at the end of the inhale for a moment or two, a few seconds, and then release. Feel a passive recoil, and then squeeze the breath all the way out. Squeeze it out, squeeze it out, squeeze it out. Hold the breath out just for a second, and then breathe in slowly. Feel the belly relax, release, and the diaphragm push down, which is the belly pushing out. Hold that breath for a moment. And then breathe out. Feel the relaxation of the belly as the diaphragm releases, and then squeeze the tummy muscles in to finish that exhale. So going into full expiratory reserve volume here, going all the way and squeezing that breath out. And that's pushing the diaphragm up. So this practice, very simple practice, is enabling the diaphragm to move as optimally as it can, given any other tightnesses in the body. Full deep belly breath. Hold it for a second or two, a few seconds maybe. Release, feel the release, feel the release, feel the release, feel the release, and then squeeze the tummy in slowly, squeezing it all the way in. As you squeeze that in, you'll notice the pelvic floor lifting as well. Feel the front and middle of the pelvic floor lift up. And then gently release the belly. You come into the inhale, and then diaphragm pushes down. Belly opens out into that big belly breath. Keep doing this. It's an incredible practice to do and feel it all. Again, with awareness and observance, so you can feel the muscles moving. Feeling muscles moving is somatic intelligence. It's feeling in your body, feeling the difference between activation of muscles and relaxation of muscles. Now, when we're working and feeling in the body, we want to make sure we stay in yum and stay out of yuck. So we're not going into yuck at all. So just listen to the sensations in your body. And you can slow things down enough. And again, when we're working with feeling in the body and increasing the array of feeling in the body, the possibility of feeling in the body, we have to go slowly enough to begin with to really feel it. So we go mindfulness first, if you like. Speed and power of practice comes later. That's really good so far, really good. Another few breaths like this. Now we're working with the mechanics of the breath here, coming in through the nose, spreading the nostrils wide, tongue relaxed, jaw relaxed. Getting that breath down into the belly, so you can expand that belly. If anybody's not breathing into the belly, if you're struggling to breathe into the belly, you can put a note up into the chat and let me know. There's a chat box down there, let me know in the chat box, and I'll help you, I'll show you how to work with that. Okay? Feel that full belly relaxation, and see if you can extend that now to breathe into the back of the belly as well. So you can feel what I call the full 360-degree breath. So you can feel into the back of the belly as well at the same time. I actually like breathing into the back body first in a way. It's really nice to do that. Because otherwise, one of the things we tend to do with the breath is breathe into the front of the body and go into a little back bend, or we arch the spine, and the back of the body gets shut then. Whereas if we breathe into the back body first and tuck the tailbone a little bit, then we can breathe into that full 360 array of the breath, and the whole of the diaphragm comes down. We're not just using the front of the diaphragm. If that makes sense anatomically to you. If it doesn't make sense anatomically, don't worry about it. If you don't even know what a diaphragm is, don't worry about it. Just breathe into your belly. Your diaphragm's doing it anyway. Wonderful. Wonderful. Now just relax the breath. Give the breath back to the brainstem. Again, one of these power moves we've got with breath work is the movement between controlling the breath and awareness of breath and involuntary brainstem breath, where we're not even aware of it. These key transitions are really powerful. So just give the breath back to the brainstem and see what your body does about it now. Let your body take over the breath for a moment. And notice how it is. Stay in observance. Really notice everything. Now, fantastic. Have you had your breakfast this morning? Some of you might have done, I don't know. What did you do yesterday? What was good yesterday? What was really good about yesterday? What amazing thing happened yesterday? It was pretty cool. Yeah. Just wondering, just curious. Because in talking that, I've just shifted your thinking away from your breath. Okay, so you've gone into involuntary brainstem breathing now, which is the other transition I was talking about. So we've gone into just brainstem breathing. And now make that shift again from brainstem breathing back into awareness of breathing. It's a powerful one. It's really important because of the way it affects the brain and helps the brain to develop and grow in a powerful way. So just shift back into breath now, awareness, and feel it. And if you can do it now, you can do it any time in the course of your day, at any point, whenever you want to. Involuntary brainstem breathing to awareness of breathing. And now let's come back and control the breath. Come back into that full belly breath we were just doing. Spreading the nostrils, relaxing the jaw, put your tongue in place. There's that full 360-degree breath, that array of breath around the body, the back of the body, and the front of the body. So you've just done the most amazing thing. This is wonderful. I mean it. This is absolutely wonderful, because what you've just done is you've done the key transitions from brainstem breathing to awareness of breathing, and from awareness of breathing to controlling the breath to create optimal flow states. And you've just done that now. So own it. Take that away with you, because you've just empowered your life. I really mean that. You can do it anytime now. There's nothing stopping you. Isn't that amazing? It's that simple. Great. Wonderful job. Okay, let's just drop back into awareness of breathing. Back into brainstem breathing. Now, has anybody got anything you particularly like from today? If you can unmute yourself and give me a shout out if you want to. Anybody wants to call out, say anything you particularly like from the rest of the session today? We've already got some real good stuff there, because you just got full empowerment with your breathwork practices there. The rest is technique. Yeah, and we've got loads of techniques on my online course. We've got up to 100 techniques. So it's playing then with creating different states in the system in different ways. Anything particularly? Anybody's got any interesting things people got to say, or you want from today?
I liked the breathing into the back of the body, and what you said about the tucking the tailbone.
Yeah.
That was a different kind of, not heard that before. It's kind of, yeah, it felt a bit different.
Yeah. I find in a lot of breath, where people do strong breathwork practices, what they tend to do is they tend to go into spinal extension like this, which of course, if you think about it, is shutting the back of the diaphragm and closing the back of the body, yeah? Like that. So it's just pushing up in the front, and then they breathe out. So we've got this thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a way of breathing. It could be nice in certain situations. But if you haven't also got access to the capacity to keep the spine in length, in actual extension, and open the back of the diaphragm as well. It's ultimately an unhelpful pattern, because any pattern by itself ultimately is unhelpful, because we want access to all the possibilities of movement, all the possibilities of breath, not just one technique. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you want to be a breath master, basically. Yeah, you want to master, all the different understandings, all the different awarenesses of possibility, not just one thing. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Anybody else? We'll do a bit more of that in a minute then. If you like that, we'll do a bit more of that. Anybody else? Okay, we'll go from there. Awesome. Lovely. So make sure you're sitting comfortably. Now, again, just to check in, put your hands on your pelvic wings. That's those big bones on the top of your pelvis, the iliac crest there. You put your hands on those and draw the hands out in a line above those bones like that, okay? You want to have your knees below that line, below that plane, okay? And so if you're sitting on cross-legged, then sit up on something if you need to get the knees lower. Or if you're sitting on a chair, tendency in a chair is to slouch back slightly. So make sure maybe you're sitting on the front of the chair so you can keep the body long and tall. Sometimes we do stuff lying down, but we're not going to do a lying down session today. Well, maybe at the end. Okay, great. So sit tall through the spine. And tall through the spine doesn't mean pushing the chest up. It means the front and the back of the body lifting up at the same time. So you can kind of wriggle a little bit and feel, if you put your hand on your sternum bone here, you want to be feeling the front of the chest lifting, but also the back of the chest lifting at the same time. And again, like I was saying earlier on, you can get that experience just by very softly tucking the tail. And it's almost imperceptible. It's an almost imperceptible tail tuck. But what that does is engage the bottom of the spine slightly. So you tend to stay out of that unconscious spinal extension, the back bend that can happen in the spine otherwise, right? And then get those shoulder blades lifting up again. Take another in-breath, lift them up and wriggle them down the spine. Take a few wriggles as you bring them down the spine, and then lift the back of the head, shake it a little bit, and lift it back up again. Now, we all tend to be doing interneck these days. That's a name from my friend Kate Babington. Yeah, there. We tend to have the head pushing forwards like that, shoulder blades around like this. Yeah, so getting this ancestral posture of height and length and shoulder blades back and head back and up is really, really useful, because this is how the body's evolved to breathe. It hasn't evolved to breathe well with the head forward, shoulders rotated and slumped down, which is what chairs often give us. So if you're on a chair, make sure you can come into the position here. Then take a few breaths just to come in and get up. And again, that's a crucial transition to enable for yourself. It's okay to slouch sometimes. There we go, slouch. But it's absolutely essential to be able to come back. And when people are getting patterned into slouch as a daily practice and can't come out of it, that means you can't breathe well. And if you can't breathe well, you can't look after your central nervous system. Every single human being in the world today, in the modern post-industrial world, is in a high state of stress. Loads of adrenaline going on, okay? Nothing wrong with that. Stress is okay. It's not about the level of stress. It's about what we do with the stress. That's it. That's it. Okay? You're not going to get rid of all the informational demands. Here you go. There's my mobile phone there, 64 gigabyte computer. Okay, punching out information demands in different formats and stuff all the time. Here I am on a laptop. There's loads of stuff going on, climatically, globally, everything else, locally, personally. This is the way it is. That's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. What changes is how we work with it. That we need breath work for. I teach the three meta disciplines, conscious breath work, embodied awareness, feeling into your body like we're doing and getting the body so it works properly. And the other one is mind mastery through meditative depth. And with those three, you can manage just about anything. You can manage the carbon-silicon interface and the personal, transpersonal, and you can manage the relational interface so much more successfully. Okay, so let's then extend the practice a little bit now. So take a breath in through the nose again. And really, if you put the tip of the tongue just behind the top teeth and the roof of the mouth, relax those jaws again. We're going to come into the back body in a slightly different way now. Spread the nostrils a little bit more here. These muscles here, really engaging them, switching them on. These ones take time to train. I've just done a nose training video. It's going to go up on YouTube probably next week. So you can catch that next week and look at how to train your nose as well. It's really important for breath work. Okay, so we'll do that. That'll be available next week probably. So breathing in, spreading that up. Now again, the speed at which you breathe in is determined by your carbon dioxide resilience. Okay, so that again grows with practice. So just do the best you can today of breathing in. Depends how stressed you've been as well. Depends what you've eaten. It depends, when you've eaten. There's all sorts of stuff involved in this. So just take your time to breathe in as best you can, and notice any mind criticism at all. If you get any mind criticism going on at all, delete it. We don't need it. No comparison. We're not making comparisons. We're not making judgments. We're feeling. Right. And when you come to that fullness of the inhale, that belly opening, breathe out slowly and see how long you can make the exhale. Now with practice, you can make this up to 30 seconds. That's with practice. But you've got to be with things as they are now, without any criticism, without any judgment. Oh, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. None of that stuff, okay? It's just, how is it now? And things being as they are, how can we step forwards? Everything that's led you here has been brilliant. Everything in your life has led you to this point. Feel the breath, pay attention to the breath, get that breath long and slow now. We're going to extend the breath in a minute. Everything in your life has led you to this point. Here you are, at the breath temple, online, learning some skills, doing some things that are going to help you take the next steps forward in your life. This is awesome. So well done for getting here. Yeah. Give yourself appreciation, a moment of celebration. Real acceptance. And let's step forward together. Now, the end of the next exhale, and squeeze the tummy in as far as it goes, and feel down into your pelvic floor, pelvic diaphragm, in fact, and then squeeze up the middle and the front of the pelvic diaphragm around the urogenital triangle. Now, the respiratory diaphragm and the pelvic diaphragm work together, okay? So when you squeeze that up, I want you to hold that little bit of tension in the urogenital triangle as you initiate the inhale. And that's going to, because the neurological and fascial linking between the pelvic floor and the belly muscles at the bottom, the transverse abdominals, yeah? You're going to keep that as you breathe in. And that's going to increase the pressure in the abdomen, so your belly won't go out quite as far as it did before. But what will happen now, as you breathe in, if you breathe in slowly, is these ribs here will switch on. Ribs 6 to 10 here will switch on. Because the diaphragm is meeting the pressure of the abdomen, it has to change the way it works a little. And we'll explore that on other breath courses we do. Okay. Nice. Now then, go into the next exhale. Squeeze that breath out. Feel the pelvic floor. Squeeze it in and up. Hold that tension a little bit. The transverse abs at the bottom, we have different nerves feeding into the transverse abs, which is at the very bottom, transverse abdominals. That's the belt of muscles just above your pubic bone. Keep those gently squeezed in, and then breathe in, holding that micro tension there. And the ribs open. You can feel them open. Great. All good so far. Some comments there. I've got to read those. I've got my reading glasses in a second. Yeah. Lovely. There's a comment about car crash and whiplash. I'll come back into that later. Thank you. Right. Now then, and again into the next exhale, because we're going to grow this now. Steady, steady, steady here. Now start keeping that tailbone tucked a little bit. So you've got that tailbone tucked, you've got that length through the back of the head, you feel the front and the back of the heart lifting, you go into that exhale. At the end of the exhale, squeeze those front and middle of the urogenital triangle in. Bottom of the transverse abs in. Gently hold that as you breathe in. And this time start breathing to ribs 6 to 10. Feel them and breathe into the back of the ribs as well. Back of the ribs, side of the ribs, front of the ribs. So it starts to feel there around the back body. Okay, and then breathe out again, slowly breathing out, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out. The end of that exhale, squeeze the tummy in, squeeze the pelvic floor in up, pulse the pelvic floor a moment, pulse the tummy in right at the bottom very gently, tuck the tailbone softly, breathe into the back of the belly, the pudortus lumborum area, and then rounded into the front, then into the back of these lower ribs, and then round into the front, and then continue. See if you can extend the breath now. So you come into the upper ribs slowly, feeling each of the rib racks, the rib sections opening up back, side, front, back, side, front, back, side, front, back, side, front, until it feels like you're breathing into the back of the cranium here, and then the side of the cranium and the front of the skull. So going back, side, front in the breath. We could go front, side, back as well, remember, but we're doing back, side, front right now to give you this experience of this 360-degree breath. When you come to the fullness of the inhale, hold the breath for a moment or two. Really settle into that full feeling, into that sense of axial length, that's length through the axis of the spine. Hold it for a moment, relax into it. And then see how slowly you can breathe out and feel the relaxation. Exhalation is mostly a relaxation. Yeah? So feel that relaxation of all the structures, the external intercostal muscles. Diaphragm's relaxing. Everything's relaxing. Right until the last moment when you squeeze those transverse abs in. Everything's a relaxation. In this practice, if you're forcefully running, it'd be different. But we're not. Squeeze it in. And then pulse that pelvic floor a moment. Feel the front and middle of the pelvic floor. It's so important to have intelligence in the pelvic floor. The breath work it is. And then from there, come into the back belly, side of the belly, the front of the belly. Yeah, keep that tension in the pelvic floor in the front of the belly. Come into the back, ribs 6 to 10, side ribs 6 to 10. Feel them all gently open. Front of the ribs 6 to 10. Up into the upper chest here. Up into the ribs 1 to 5 now. Feel them opening here. Back, side, front. Into the back of the neck as if you're breathing into the neck. Feel that length down into the head as if you're breathing into the back, the side and the front of the head. Hold that inhale. Gently hold it. Relax into it. Relax into it. And exhale, 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 exhale. Feel the relaxation. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Hold that exhale out for a moment. Squeeze that pelvic floor up and continue. Just continue this at your own pace now. The next 5 minutes. Keep going with it. The more and more you can feel the respiratory muscles, and how they're moving, how they're activating, and how they're releasing, the more intelligence and consciousness you have and you can bring to your breath practice. It's not about the fierceness or the velocity of your practice. It's about the awareness in the practice. That's the key. That's the key that's going to give you the tools you need to be able to manage information on demand. People sit at computers and go into breath holding, or they go into dysfunctional breathing patterns and body slump. And you can change that around because you know the awareness, you know how to sit. You know how to sit well, you know how to be well in your body. You know, you're not rigid, there's mobility, there's freedom, there's flexibility here. Yeah. And with that comes the spaciousness of the breath. And you can come into a steady breath, 6 rhythm, 6 inhale, 6 exhale. When you're sitting at the computer, 6-second inhale, 6-second exhale, an occasional breath hold. As you're working, a conscious breath hold, not a dysfunctional breath hold because of stress. People hold their breath because they're stressed sometimes. Get freeze, panic. We want functional breath holds. And functional breath holds are ones you do consciously. You go into a conscious breath hold on. Take your breath hold now. Yeah. Because that's going to build up my carbon dioxide levels, increase oxygenation to my brain, and keep me totally chilled out. And that's what increasing carbon dioxide does. It allows you to oxygenate your body, your brain, and work better. Awesome. Stay with it another couple of minutes. You're doing really well here. Stay with the practice. I'm just sharing some extra stuff here that you can take away and make your life even more awesome with, because that's the deal. That's what we want. We want this for you. We want this for everybody. We've got an amazing little course up online. The 7-day breath challenge is a brilliant one. It's got nine different practices in it, and it gives you the encouragement and the practice of doing them 3 times a day. So you've got little practices you can do. You do them 3 times a day, and the magic thing here is to do these practices. Regularity counts. Regularity is part of the magic. You have to come into a lifestyle of this, which means you do it in the morning, do it in the middle of the day, and do it before you go to bed. To start with, you're doing this lifestyle, interweave, this engagement of these practices into your life. So doing them once on the breath temple is fantastic, but we have to go head towards doing them 3 times a day. And then that's the beginning. All right? Beautiful. How are we doing there? Okay. Great stuff. Now, you can slow that breath practice down. What we want to do as well is not just increase the amount of air we're taking in and taking out. One of the amazing things about the body is it knows how to regulate oxygen really well. It's just the dysfunctional breathing patterns get in the way of it. The body knows how to regulate carbon dioxide extremely well. Bodies have been doing this for millions of years. Okay? So what we want to work with is we want to work well with our evolutionary biology, not badly, and not dodge difficulties. Okay, so again, awareness is key. Awareness is absolutely crucial. So, yeah. One of the things we're going to do, if we're going to increase the breath volume, by increasing the size of the chest as we breathe in, which is what we're doing, then we have to slow it down as well. Otherwise, we're just getting rid of carbon dioxide. When we get rid of carbon dioxide, we reduce the capacity of the oxygen to move from the red blood cells into the tissues, into the brain cells, into the muscle cells, into the organ cells. So if we're going to do this full breath like this, we're increasing the volume size, yeah, right? Then we have to slow it down. That's the deal. Yeah, because we're working well with this. And if we do faster breath, which we're going to do in a minute, then we have to do something else at the end, which I'm going to teach you. Okay? Great stuff. And relax, let go. Just let go. Just drop the practice now. Come back into awareness of breathing. We're playing with these transitions because these are, like I said, empowering transitions. You do it once, you can do it anytime. And then just back into unconsciousness of breathing. Just, yeah. It's a gorgeous sunny day today here. How is it where you are? What's it like? Yeah. I'm using a pattern interrupt just to get you to not pay attention to the breath for a moment. Tell me a story. Tell me something. Yeah. When we talk, we don't pay attention to the breath very much. Not many people do anyway. It's very rare. I'm taking in breath between words, between phrases, through my nose. You see me doing it if you watch carefully. Most people don't. Most people talk through their mouth I breathe through the mouth when they're talking. So again, you could bring awareness to your breath when you're talking. And when you bring awareness to your breath when you're talking, one of the beautiful things it gives you is much more awareness of listening. We listen better. Feel it. Feel it in your body. Beautiful. So, take your hands up in the air. You can't see my hands at the end, but I'm opening my fingers wide like this, extending the fingers and making these triangular wedges between all the fingertips. Now, hands in daily life just do this. We just grasp. The whole thing's grasping opposable fingers and thumbs. We very rarely do that in daily life. Yeah? So what we're going to do is going to aim to keep those fingertips open like that and open up like this. Okay. Now reach out as far as you can through the fingertips and then pull the shoulder blades down the back, right? And then squeeze the shoulders back into the shoulder socket. So rather than lifting up out of the socket and extending, we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades down and come back into the socket with those arms open. Play with that movement a couple of times, you'll feel it then, okay? Yeah. So lift the shoulders up And then bring the shoulder blades right back down the back, and then pull them back in the socket. You can feel the muscles here, the back, the lats, in fact, and you feel the pec major switching on a little bit here, this muscle, the chest muscle, and this muscle back. Interestingly, of course, in the myofascial training world, these are part of the superficial front arm line, and they join from here all the way down the front of the body to the pelvic floor. So we're actually breathing the pelvic floor here as well, okay, which is partly why we're doing this. So open those fingers wide. Now, the other thing that's going to happen is we're going to start up here at about this kind of 90-degree angle. And what's going to happen within 2 minutes is your arms are going to be either doing this, all right, dropping down, or they're going to be doing this, like this. So if your arms get too tired for you to hold them up there because you're new to doing this, then I want you to consciously move them. And what I'm inviting you to consciously do is go from this position here, rather than drifting down like this or drifting into this unconsciously, consciously bend your elbows and come down like this and breathe like this. Okay, so make it again an aware transition, not just a collapse. All right, that's the deal. Fantastic. So let's take those arms back up there, open those fingertips wide. Okay, open the back of the head, lengthen up, tuck the tailbone a little bit. We're going to breathe in the back of the body again, remember? And breathe into the back of the body. Yeah, and then the side and the front. Yeah, so going kind of backside front, backside front, backside front through the segments. And you can do it in 3 pulses like that. And then breathe out and just let go on the exhale. Passive, relaxed exhale. And then in again. So if you're breathing in the back of the body, all the way up the back of the skull here, and then breathe out down. So got that back, side, front, back, side, front, back, side, front. You can get that 3 pulses into the breath. So it goes. Okay, fantastic. Stay with that. Stay with that. See if you need to take the arms down, take them down. Just come into cactus arms for a while. Okay, it's absolutely fine. Okay, now keep going with the breath. I'm going to keep mine up. Give some inspiration. So breathe in. Back the neck long, move the head and jaw, keep the throat relaxed, keep it relaxed, hold the breath momentarily and breathe out, release, relax, let go. Again, 3-wave breath. Breathing in, that's abdominal area, mid-thoracic area, upper thoracic area, all the way to the crown of the head. And then breathe out, relax, let go. 1 long exhale. Take the arms down in a minute. We'll do about 9 breaths with the arms up. You can hold them up, hold them up. Keep the back of the neck long, just soft movement. This is good for whiplash. I'll talk about whiplash in a minute for you, Yvonne, okay? And then exhale, release. And release. Again, there's 3 ways of breath. Back, side, front to the abdominal area. Keep the tailbone gently tucked. Back, side, front to the mid-thoracics. Back, side, front to the upper chest and head. Now bring palms together above your head. Just bring them above your head. If you press the palms together like this, if you can't, if your shoulder blades collapse here, or your shoulders come out, you can keep your hands apart. It's absolutely fine to do that. Just remember to do here. Just doing 3 breaths here. That's 1 already. Now we're increasing what's called the minute ventilation. That's the amount of air coming in and going out every minute, right? So we're going to be changing our blood gas levels. We're going to have to do something about it. And that's what we're going to do afterwards. So just hold this breath for a minute longer. That's 3. Bring the hands together. Drop them behind your head and squeeze the elbows together and push the head back into the palms. Squeeze the elbows together. Push the head back into the palms slightly, okay? So we're engaging that head backwards and we're going to breathe in here. And release. Still that 3-wave breath. That's into the abdominal area, into the thoracic area, into the upper chest and head. Every breath you breathe, carry on breathing like this. Every breath you breathe, so you squeeze the elbows in as much as you can and down. Every breath you breathe, the oxygen is created by plants. All of it, without exception. Bring your hands over your head, bring them on the forehead. Feel it, know this. All the oxygen you breathe in is created by plants. We're inseparable from the plants, completely inseparable. All that oxygen goes to every single cell in your body. That means the plants go to every single cell in your body. Every cell of your body is intimately and utterly connected to the plants on this planet. Utterly, inseparably connected to the planet. And breathe that 3-wave breath. You were a little tiny baby, now you're a big person. All that body has been made out of other living things which have been made out of sunlight and water and earth. Plants and the things that have eaten plants. If you eat that. And then hands down to your chest. And breathe into the, if you press the palms and you make that palm, the forearms horizontal to the ground here. And then press the arms in like this. The shoulder blades come down. You can lengthen the back of the neck still. And you can breathe into the back body too. So it's a way of engaging the chest area here. So that beautiful breath in. Spread those nostrils super wide and breathe out, relax. And honor this livingness that you are and the livingness of all things. Everything's connected, everything's inseparable. Weaving, weaving together. Breathe it, breathe it, breathe it. Because by doing this, you're putting your life into alignment, into clarity, into flow, into greater ease. And hands down to the belly, like this, pointing the fingers out, right onto navel, belly button. Stay with the breath practice, tail gently tucked in and out through the nose. Spread the nostrils wide on the inhale, tongue behind the top teeth, jaw relaxed. And breathe out, all the way out now. Bring the hands down, rest the palms on the knees. Breathe out, all the way out. Squeeze that breath out. Squeeze the tummy in, pull the pelvic floor up. Feel the pelvic floor pulse up slightly. Squeeze the tummy in and hold the breath out now. If you know Uddiyana Bandha, then practice it. That's a way of releasing the diaphragm. I'm not going to teach that today. I'll teach that another time, but that's a way of releasing the diaphragm completely. Just hold the breath out otherwise. Hold the breath out. And see how long you can hold that breath out. Back of the neck long and soft. Shoulders release. We're not tightening these muscles up on the top of the shoulders here, the upper trapezius. Keep those relaxed. Hold the breath out. Now I want you to wait until you feel the diaphragm kicking in. You'll get a message from the brainstem, yeah? And it's going to kick off the phrenic nerve. And the diaphragm's going to kick. And see if you can hold that off for 3 times. Excuse me. See if you can hold that off for 3 times. Whenever you need to breathe in, I want you to wiggle your neck, relax any muscles, feel relaxed and smile, and then consciously breathe in and take 3 slow, deep breaths. Whenever you need to. If you're still holding your breath, hold your breath. So when we've done that powerful breathing practice, we've increased the minute ventilation, the amount of breath coming in and out every minute. We need to do a breath hold afterwards, because the breath holding then rebuilds up, recreates that healthy carbon dioxide level, because it's the healthy carbon dioxide, the optimal carbon dioxide level in the blood that allows oxygen to get across into the brain. So there's benefit to reducing oxygen and increasing it, benefit to reducing carbon dioxide and increasing it. Wonderful. When you need to breathe, take those 3 breaths or so. Then take a long, slow inhale. Long, slow inhale. Long, slow inhale. Long, slow inhale. Feeling to the back, the sides, and the front of the body as you breathe in. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And then hold that breath in the body. Just hold it in. Drop your chin down a little bit, just a little bit down. Bring your attention down into the heart, into this beautiful heart of yours. And emanate goodness, well-being, appreciation, love, kindness into the whole of your body, into the energy field around you. Kindness, appreciation, clarity, goodness, love, joy, peace, well-being. From this powerhouse of your heart into your life, emanate this goodness. Emanate this goodness because you can. Hold the breath, just emanate. Hold the breath and emanate. Hold the breath and emanate. When you're ready, just gently release the throat. Gently breathe out. Take 3 slow, conscious breaths. Spread the nostrils wide. Feel the nostrils opening. Feel them spread. Feel the air coming in. And then just let go of the breath. Give it back to the brainstem, but stay in awareness, stay in observance. Notice how your body feels. What's your body saying? What's your belly saying? What's your heart saying? What's your head saying? Fantastic. There's a lot in today's session. So those of you who've got this evolutionary Embody Evolution membership session, those of you who are part of that, I see a couple of you here today, so welcome, nice to see you. We'll put that up on the group for you. Everybody else, you've got some great stuff there that you can take away. So please embody that. Embody it, take it away. And if you want more stuff, we've got the breath challenge, which is the beginning practice we have. There's a lot of stuff up on the line on the courses. There's a level 1, level 2, and a level 3. We're doing an instructor course as well now. So, and that's running soon. But if you want to get that 7-day thing up and under your belt, it's a really, really good one to start with. It's fantastic, and it'll keep you working really well. Yvonne, you mentioned whiplash there. There's a lot of things you can do for whiplash. I've had it myself twice, in fact. It's an unpleasant experience, isn't it? It depends how bad it is at the moment. But I mean, if you can get your shoulder blades back down and sort of get the back of the neck slightly long, here like this, keep length in there. That really helps, okay? And as you breathe in here, keep that length, breathe in and create the length. And breathe out and slowly micro turn to the side. A little bit like this, just pulse gently to the side, keeping that feeling of length in the back. And then turn to the other side and gently pulse around like that. So the feeling is if your chin dropping, the back of the head lifting. So you're creating that length through the neck. And inhale is length, exhale is turn, gently pulse. Inhale is length, exhale is turn, gently pulse. That's a good beginning. If you're still struggling with it, you can get a free 20-minute one-to-one with me. Again, booking that through my website. We can have a chat about that, and I can help you out a bit more with that, all right? That's it for today. That's it, folks. Let's take a moment of self-reflection, a moment of clarity creation. Just feel into your body, into your mind, into your heart, into your belly, these different centers of intelligence that we are. Take a moment to feel into the joined upness of everything, the inseparability of everything. Like I said, everything that's happened in your life has led you to this point. And this point is taking you forward to the next. So land well now. Celebrate this moment. And step forward in beauty, in truth, in goodness. Lovely. Thank you ever so much for your time and your attention today. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you again next time, I pray. Thank you ever so much. Bye-bye now. Go well.